People think being a musician is all screaming fans, encores, and green rooms filled with free sushi. Yeah, not at the grassroots level, mate. Down here, it's all meat ravels, pokies, and punters treating you like you're Siri with a guitar. So today I'm giving you the full rundown of the different people you end up dealing with at gigs. And if you've ever lugged a PA into a pub while someone's nan is yelling about the roast special, you'll recognise every single one of these characters. Let's dive in. Number 1, the Human Jukebox requests. You're halfway through Uptown Funk, full tilt, crowd's moving, you're sweating, you've just nailed the horn riff with your mouth, and someone staggers up. Play something we can dance to. What do you think I've been doing for the last 3 minutes, mate? Waiting for your golden request to save the night? And then there's Wonderwall. Always Wonderwall. Doesn't matter where you are, a wedding, a brewery, a Sunday session, someone will shout it out like it's the funniest thing ever. It wasn't funny in 97, it wasn't funny in 07, and in 2025 it's about as fresh as asking a cab driver if he's been busy tonight. Then there are the impossible requests. Play Piano Man on a guitar. Do Master of Puppets during Sunday lunch while Grandma's chewing on a lamb shank. And they never quietly ask, no, they just scream it across the room like they're calling in livestock from the paddock. The best bit, you actually play their request, and when you finish, they're gone. Out for a smoke, or the pokies, or to the loo. You just shredded your vocal cords for their personal jukebox moment, and they missed it. Number 2, the sound police. Ah yes, the dreaded sound police. Every gig has one. They sit directly under the PA and wave you down. It's too loud. Meanwhile, everyone else is shouting, turn it up. The manager's worse. Beforehand, it's like, keep it low, mate. Background music only. 10 minutes later, why isn't everyone dancing? Pick a lane, champ. Because you told me to play at yoga retreat volume. That's why. But the manager doesn't care about the vibe you can bring. Only about not annoying old Kev, who insists on sitting right under the speaker because that's his spot. He won't move. Not for anyone. He spends his whole pension every week on mid-strength pints and raffle tickets. So apparently Kev's comfort comes before the entire room's energy. I sometimes think I should bring earplugs for the sound police. Hand them out like party favours. Cheaper than turning the whole system down and ruin it for the other 99%. Number 3, the YouTube recommendation. You've just finished a set. You're dripping sweat, strings hanging by a thread. You've given it everything. And then a punter wanders up and says, mate, you should check out Luke Combs on YouTube. He's unreal. You should play more of his stuff. Not a single compliment about your set. Just a reminder you'll never be good as someone with 40 million subscribers. Thanks, legend. Translation, everything you just did, not as good as Ed Sheeran, Clapton, Mayer's better. Literally anyone else is better. Appreciate it. I'll drown my sorrows in the free soft drink voucher. And they always whip out their phone, right? Here, listen to how it goes. Brilliant. Nothing inspires me more than hearing Shawn Mendes through a cracked Samsung speaker, covered in kebab grease at 120 decibels in my left eyeball. Number 4, the proud dad pitch. This one always happens mid-set, right? Some dad shuffles up with that proud grin. My son's got a good guitar. He's working on his rep. You should get him up sometime. He just stands there waiting, like you're about to hand over your guitar and give Timmy his debut. You know how it goes. Timmy's been playing 6 months. He's got a $3,000 Les Paul his parents brought him. And he knows 2 songs. One of them is Smoke on the Water, and the other is Smoke on the Water, but backwards. Meanwhile, you're thinking, mate, I've spent 27 years hauling gear, getting stiffed by venues and driving home at 2 a.m. Timmy's not skipping the queue because you bloody ambushed me during Brown Eyed Girl. But you can't say that, so you nod, smile, carry on. Because Dad isn't going anywhere until he delivers his sales pitch in full. Number 5, the drunk dance floor request. Usually it's 3 or 4 women in heels, wobbling like newborn giraffes. You're in the middle of La Bamba, guitar practically on fire, sweat flying, and they scream, play something we can dance to. They're already dancing. You're literally playing one of the most upbeat party songs ever written, but apparently it doesn't count. What they really mean is, play Beyonce, play the thing we had on in the Uber. And the kicker, Whatever you play next, they'll dance to anyway. AC/DC, Elvis, the hokey pokey, for Christ's sake. They just want to feel like they influence the night. And once they've screamed in your ear, they'll go back to selfies and squealing, barely noticing what you play. Sometimes I want to stop and say, ladies, mission accomplished. You're already on the dance floor, case closed. But one wrong look and suddenly you're rude. Number 6, the one more song crowd. This lot appear only at the end. You've played 3 hours, voice shredded, shirt soaked, you've done 2 encores, you're packing up. Then comes the chant, one more song, one more song. Part of you loves it, means they enjoyed it. But when you give in, half of them head straight to the bar. The chant wasn't about music, it was about the theatre of demanding more. And if you indulge them again, they just push harder. You play one more, they want another. And if you keep giving in, they won't stop. Suddenly they want American Pie, Stairway, the whole B-side of Dark Side of the Moon at 11:45 on a Tuesday night. At that point, you're not a performer, you're a hostage. And when you finally say goodnight, they groan like you just cancelled Christmas. Sorry, mate, unless you've got a spare throat in your glove box, the show's over. Number 7, the loud back punter. They sit front row, prime seating, then they turn their back on you. Full volume conversation with their mates. So anyway, Cheryl reckons if she doesn't give me time and a half, you're mid-chorus, straining to hit the note. All you can hear is Cheryl's workplace drama. You could be covering Stairway to Heaven note for note, and they'd be still shouting about penalty rates. And they never break. No clap, no nod, no eye contact. Occasionally they'll just turn around long enough to yell, you know any cold chisel? Then they spin back into their TED talk. I'd almost prefer hecklers. At least hecklers admit you exist. Number 8, the walk-by ghosts. You'll know them by that 1,000-yard stare. You know, every muso knows this parade. People marching right in front of the stage on their way to the bar, the pokies, or the toilets. Eyes forward, not a glance, not a nod. You're invisible. You could be juggling flaming guitars while singing Bohemian Rhapsody backwards, and they'd still breeze past, deep in conversation about Uber's surge pricing. They're not here for music, they're here for beer. You're just an inconvenient sound effect between them and their pint. And it's not just one or two, it's dozens. Whole streams of them flowing past like you're a decorative fountain. You just finish a huge number, crash ending, guitar in the air, and 3 blokes wander past talking about whether the Dockers will make the finals. Keeps you humble, brutally humble. Number 9, the mid-solo interruption. You're mid-solo, eyes closed, properly locked in. This is your Hendrix moment. The bend is sore and the crowd's vibing. And then here comes some punter who lumbers right up on the stage and leans in and shouts at full volume, "Oi mate, do Piano Man!" On guitar. That's right, I'm standing here with 6 strings and a capo, and this bloke reckons I'm going to suddenly turn into Billy Joel. And they don't just ask once, they stand there waiting, like I'm about to drop everything mid-solo, grab a keyboard from the salad bar and break into, "Sing us a song, yep!" You know, the worst part is they always look so pleased with themselves, like they just had an original idea. Newsflash, you're the 400th person to request Piano Man at a pub gig. You didn't invent it. The irony, if you did play it, they wouldn't even stick around. By the time you hit the second verse, they'd be outside having a dart or trying to hook up the Bluetooth speaker in the beer garden. So there you are, pouring your heart into a solo, and instead of getting that magical silence where everyone leans in to listen, you're fending off song requests for a tune that requires an entirely different instrument. Rock and roll dreams crushed by a bloke with a schooner and no sense of timing. Every muso wants that perfect solo moment where the room hangs off every note. Instead, you're explaining to some random that no, you can't play Piano Man, mainly because you're not a piano man. Number 10, the My Mate's a Gun special. I never let anyone play my guitar anymore these days unless I know the guy and he's good or she's good. I learned the lesson the hard way, right? I used to let him back when I thought it was harmless. Spoiler alert, it's never harmless. And this will happen, right? Someone shouts, "Oi, my mate's a gun. Let him do a song, he's really good." Next thing you know, some bloke who's had 6 pints, he's clutching your guitar with his sweaty hands, strapped dangling at his knees, and he's launching into Wonderwall in a key that doesn't exist. And his mates, They think it's the greatest performance since Live Aid. You can't exactly snatch it back, so you just stand there like an unpaid roadie while his mates scream like he's fucking headlining Wembley. When it's over, they pat you on the back like you should be grateful he blessed your stage. Meanwhile, you're checking your strings for damage and wondering how many Dettol wipes it takes to disinfect a fretboard. So yeah, gigging isn't all bright lights and fans chanting your name. Most of the time it's dads pitching their kids, punters treating you like a jukebox, and managers ignoring you completely until the oldest bloke in the room complains about the noise. But here's the thing, for every sweaty mate who butchers Wonderwall, there's someone quietly singing along, clapping on 2 and 4 and coming up after to say, mate, that was brilliant. And that's enough to keep us showing up week after week. If you've dealt with any of these characters, drop your horror story in the comments. I want to hear them all. And if you like this kind of gigging reality check, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep pulling back the curtain on what it's really like out here. We'll catch you in the next one. Unless the manager books Timmy the prodigy instead, who'd happily crank out Smoke on the Water all night for a single Nerf dart and a broken yo-yo.